So if you guys remember, like a month back, I talked about movies I can't wait to see for 2025. And I gotta be honest, like I said, there were other movies that I thought were going to be coming out in 2026, and then it was like, oh no, they're actually coming out in 2025, and I wasn't really happy with the list because I knew there was other movies that were coming out. And there's still going to be other movies that will come out that haven't been announced yet for 2025 that I will be excited to see at some point or another. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about this is the updated list, and I did have it written down on my phone. So I am going to talk about the movies I can't wait to see for 2025. This is the updated version of that video because I was like, I know I'm forgetting some movies here and there, but still. Anyway, so let's get started. And also, these are in no particular order. There's no like top 10 or like month of when they're releasing. It's just movies and writing them down. It was just a list. Starting off, the Marvel movies. I'm really excited to see Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Captain America Brave New World. I think they're all going to be really solid. If you were to ask me, like, ranking those movies in terms of how much I'm excited, Fantastic Four First Steps, Captain America Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. I'm also not going to talk about the shows, but I'm sure they'll be solid anyway. I'm actually curious about Ironheart, honestly, and also Wonder Man. Yeah. So Marvel movies, I'm always, I know people are like, the MCU is dead. It's never been dead. It had a rough patch, but it ain't dead. So, anyway, next up, Superman Legacy. Superman Legacy is the official the official movie start for the DC, for James Gunn's new DC universe. Whereas, Creature Commandos is like the quote unquote real start of the DCU, and I just realized that's coming out next week. Like, Creature Commandos is coming out next week, and I'm like, all right, that's gonna start our new universe, but sure. But Superman Legacy, I am a huge Superman fan, so I'm always excited for a new Superman movie. I don't know what this story is gonna be about, but I'm excited for it. And yeah, I hope this new DC universe will do better than Zack Snyder's DC universe. But that's not saying much because the bar was so fucking low. Just saying. Next up, I Know What You Did Last Summer, or as it's being like, I'll always know what you did. Yeah. So, I Know What You Did Last Summer is the requel to the I Know What You Did Last Summer films. So we're getting Freddie Prinze Jr. back, and I think I heard Sarah Michelle Gellar is coming back for the franchise too. So I think that's really cool. I'm not a big fan. I was never a big fan of the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies, but I always am happy to see a slasher come out of the crypt and, inspire a new generation. I know there was that new TV show on Amazon, which no one watched, which I understand why. That show was not great. But, hey, the movie looks... I'm excited to see, the original cast back for a requel, and maybe this will revitalize my interest in the original franchise, like how Scream 5 and 6 did, and my new appreciation for the Scream films. So, yeah, that's why I'm interested in that film, is because, hey, maybe this will, renew some interest in I Know What You Did Last Summer as a franchise for me. Anyway, Thanksgiving 2. Speaking of slashers, Thanksgiving 2. I legit forgot. I thought this was coming out 2026, but nope. Eli Roth said, yeah, we're still scheduled for 2025. Fuck yeah. I loved that film. I loved Thanksgiving. I thought it was a great slasher, and Eli Roth clearly knows how to make a solid film when it comes to horror. Obviously, we've seen his work before, but he also knows how to make a good slasher, and I think the icon of John Carver, I think John Carver is slowly becoming a horror icon, so I'm not going to say, like, he's Freddy or Jason level. Like, he hasn't reached, like, what with Art. Like, Art the Clown has clearly, in those 3 films, has clearly made himself into a new horror icon. But it is nice to see, like, new, like, not to mention, like, old horror icons come up. Like Freddy, and not Freddy, but, like, Jason's getting a TV show. Michael, obviously, with the requels, and Ghostface. Chucky's still banging around. So, I am very I'm excited to see like another new icon along. Hopefully, the John Carver character will be up there in terms of like horror icons. At some like, I really hope that's. I hope that's the case because I've loved all the franchise so far. Anyway, so Thanksgiving 2. Next up, in terms of... let's move on to another slasher that I just remembered as of right now, Hard Eyes. I saw a teaser, and I'm always down for a cheesy, horrible R-rated slasher. We've had Valentine's Day slashers before, but Hard Eyes looks ridiculous and dumb, and I'm just like, as long as it's bloody, I'll have a good time. Like, that's all I ask. Yeah. Next up, and a lot of these are horror movies, fucking sue me. Yeah, and I just remembered another movie, which we'll talk about in a bit, but yeah. Yeah, so next up on our list is Wolfman. I know the Wolfman design isn't exactly great, per se, but I will say that it does, like, I still have faith in Leigh Whannell, and again, lighting and editing can go a long way for a creature. Trust me, I've watched a lot of 90s horror movies. I can guarantee that's a fact. So I think it's going to be a solid film. I get like I'm still worried because of the design of the Wolfman, but at the same time I'm still like, I think it could work. I think it could honestly work. So I do have some expectation for it. It's going to be the first movie I see of the year. So yeah. Next up, Sinners. Sinners is an original film that is being directed by Ryan Coogler and has what's his name? Michael B. Jordan. And I'm really excited for this film because it really has like this American Vampire kind of feel, where it's a group of vampire hunters in Louisiana fighting a vampire horde with what looks like voodoo magic. I'm really hyped for this. Also, apparently, there's going to be a 1920s vampire film with Tom Holland that's being directed by Christopher Nolan. It's almost like Nolan just looked at Coogler's work and went... He was, like, peeking over the script, like, hey, Ryan, what you doing? Just taking notes real fast, yeah. Yeah, so Sinners, I'm really excited for it. Yeah. Next up, non-horror real fast... Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up. I love Looney Tunes, and it does suck that we didn't get, fuck you, Warner Brothers, for not releasing Acme versus, Coyote versus Acme. So it's actually nice to see this come out, and an actual animated Looney Tunes premiere. I really love the Looney Tunes, and I'm really excited to see, a legit animated film come out after so long. Next up, 28 Years Later. 28 Years Later is a film that we've all, talked about, wouldn't it be cool to finally see it, and through fan edits and, hearsay, it's actually happening again. Now, this one, I don't know if it's coming out in 2025, because I've heard two different things. It might get pushed to 2026, depending how, but for right now, I'm going to say 2025. So 28 Years Later... I'm really excited for it. I'm not a big zombie fan, but I have loved, even 28 Weeks Later, while I do think it was the weaker of the two, had some solid moments, so it'd be cool to see this trilogy closed out. Next up, Jurassic World Rebirth. Jurassic World Dominion sucks. Let's get that out of the way right now. Jurassic World Dominion just straight up his ass. But Rebirth I have hope for. Gareth Edwards, while I do think he's kind of, I think he's a decent director, he is very studio friendly. And I do think he'll have a solid script with David Koepp on board. The cast looks really interesting. Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson, and I'm just a sucker for dinosaurs. Sue me. Next up, The Naked Gun, the remake of the original film, and I love the original Naked Gun movie. But the real reason why I'm really interested in this film is because they're having Liam Neeson play Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen's character. Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen, that had to have been an in-joke. And I think, Liam Neeson, it'd be kind of cool to see Liam Neeson, because he can almost play that character. If you saw Ted 2, in that scene where he's, talking to Ted about Lucky Charms, that's so Frank Drebin. And I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, so I'm just excited for that. I just think that's going to be fun. Next up, Saw 11. Saw 10 really, like, Saw 10 was such a solid film. It was such a solid Saw film, and I'm not the biggest Saw fan. But Saw 10 really made me go, you know what? I'm really excited for the future of this franchise, and I was sad that it didn't come out this year, but, you know, hopefully they save something good for Saw 11. Next up, The Bride from Maggie Gyllenhaal. This film is going to be a non-Universal Studios horror movie about the monster's bride. Christian Bale is playing the monster, which I think that's going to be a great role. And I think it's a cool story being set in Chicago in 1930s. Neat. A gangster story with monsters. I'm in. Speaking of Frankenstein, we're going to talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I'm so excited for this. Del Toro's Frankenstein. I'm really I like the idea of Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein. I love I just know he's going to do great at aesthetics. And word on the street is this could be the start of a new monster universe from Del Toro. But we'll see how that plays out. But I'm really excited. Speaking of two things in one, we're going to both the Predator anime anthology, which will probably show up on Hulu, and Predator Badlands. Oh, God, it does my heart so good. I mean, again, say what you want about Disney, but they at least killed it. Absolutely killed it on, the Fox stuff. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Alien, Romulus, and Prey, and now we're getting 2 Predator films next year? Fuck yeah, I'm all in. And I'm really excited to see Dan Trachtenberg's take on having the Predator film be set in... and basically be set in the Predator's perspective, in the Yautja's perspective. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we have The Monkey. Do The Monkey with me. Come on. No, we're not. So, what is The Monkey? The Monkey is a Stephen King story from director Osgood Perkins, who recently did Longlegs, which I have watched Longlegs. I think it's a interesting film. I wouldn't call it one of my favorites, but I do think there's some legit good scares in the story. So Stephen King, Osgood Perkins, and James Wan producing. That's like I cannot not want to watch it. So the Monkey, for those who are wondering, The Monkey is a short story about this wind-up doll, clanging cymbals monkey who brings misfortune and pain. I think a part of me says, didn't they parody that in Grim Adventures? Or unless I'm thinking of something else. But I want to say that was the case. And finally, for the list, is Primitive War, a dinosaur horror story set in Vietnam. How could I not want to watch that? Guys, come on. A R-rated dinosaur story set in Vietnam? I can't say no to that. And I haven't read the book yet, but yeah, I'm excited. Vietnam dinosaur horror, sold. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is basically the list so far. Again, there's no doubt in my mind that other movies are going to be released in 2025 that we don't know about and will be exciting to watch. And so far, that's the list so far. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what are some movies in 2025 that you can't wait to see? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse. Also, real quick, I know there's some people saying, aren't you going to talk about the Alien versus Predator film? That's rumored. I'm not going to talk about it until I get anything official. So no, I will not be talking about the supposed Alien versus Predator movie that's been going around saying it's coming out in 2025. That's just, until I am proven otherwise, that's just rumor and hearsay, and I can't believe I have to say that, but whatever. Anyway, so there you go, guys. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.